How's it going, everybody? My name is Mick and welcome to Boots On. Today we are hiking the Tunnel View Lookout Loop in Glenbrook, New South Wales. This hike was organised by my good mate, the Hiking Ninja. We started the day by catching public transport to get there. Unfortunately, there was track work which added an additional 3.5 hours worth of travel time just to get there. By the time we started the hike, we had already walked around 5 kilometres. This was the first of two issues I had during this hike, and I'll explain the second issue a little bit later. The hike started off nice and easy as we slowly made our descent towards the creek. The flora wasn't too thick and allowed for some nice views along the way. The first creek section we came across looked a little stagnant with plenty of bugs skimming the surface. We pressed on and kept our eyes peeled for anything else we might come across. We followed the edge of the creek for a little while longer, all the while the cicadas were drowning out almost all sounds around them. Not long after, we found an area which was narrow enough to allow us to cross the creek itself and continue our hike.
Well, there's been no recording for the last hour or so because we just climbed up that.
Sorry for interrupting, but see this point right here? This is where we crossed the creek. And this is the ascent we had to follow. A fair bit of it was quite steep and required the use of my hands to grab onto the rocks and trees to help us climb up. As I mentioned before, we arrived much later than anticipated and I made the mistake of not eating breakfast. By this point, it was nearly lunchtime and I still hadn't eaten anything for the day and my body just ran out of steam. We had to take a break while I consumed some food from my pack in order to replenish some of that lost energy. Please learn from my mistakes and make sure you have a decent breakfast before you commence any hikes. Now, let's get back to In the Moment, Mick.
I nearly had a heart attack. Holy crap.
What a view though.
The view is insane. But definitely expect to climb in your hands and knees. And expect to die at least once or twice. but the view is pretty freaking good.
Hell yeah.
Here's another view of a gorgeous view. Oh, this is the spot. Alright, so apparently this was meant to be the spot we're aiming for, the lookout. There's the masked ninja who's guided me along this hike. I tell you what, we went up the hard way and I'm definitely feeling it. Thank you to the masked ninja. But wow, we came from all the way down there on the other side of the river and we somehow climbed our way through there and eventually came up to here. So that's been an effort and a half. Well, I'm thoroughly sweaty and enjoying the view at the same freaking time. Wow, right here is where you get a mad view of everything. Alright, so now we're on the way back. We're on the way back and this is quite easy compared to the uphill. Like, it was so full on that I couldn't even record it. I was dying out of breath until I realized that I was actually quite hungry at that point. So this is a much nice needed change. Bit of shade, slight breeze. Just gotta watch out for the snakes. And yeah, we should be pretty good for the moment. Very quiet though.
The last section of the hike is quite easy, but there isn't much to look at unfortunately. It will eventually lead you down to the jelly bean pools and you can take a nice dip to cool yourself off. I jumped straight in and it felt amazing, especially after collapsing on the hill climb. Well, that is the end of the tunnel view lookout loop. So, what did I think of it? Overall, the length of the hike is just over 7 kilometers, but make sure to allow for additional few more if you're taking public transport. Regarding access, the hike is but a short walk from the train station, around 10 to 15 minutes. If you decide to drive down, they have a small car park as well. I give it 5 stars. The bulk of the track itself is easy, but there is a disclaimer to this. There are a few parts of the track that can be quite challenging due to the steep inclines. In terms of difficulty, I would rate it 4 stars. The majority of the scenic beauty on this hike is seen in the first half, even though you do not get to see much beyond the lookout itself. In my opinion, what you did see at the start more than makes up for it. I give it 4 stars. The overall rating I give the tunnel view lookout loop is 4 stars. It was beautiful and challenging at the same time. Special mentions for this hike: remember to take some beachwear if you wish to take a dip in the pool. And that's it from me. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.